Some home tips to combat coronavirus within the family and beyond. Avoid handshakes. Wash your hands thoroughly and regularly with soap. If you don't have soap, use hand sanitizers. Use tissue paper or handkerchiefs when coughing or sneezing and dispose them in the trash bins. Clean your gadgets, especially phones. Avoid hugging. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. Avoid crowded places and public gatherings. Maintain social distancing. Parents and guardians should be very vigilant with children. If we adhere to the preventive measures, then we can avoid or stop the further spread of COVID-19.
Trust must be earned. Trust must be proven. Our first name is synonymous with trust. Our brand thrives on the trust it is built and nurtured through the years. Beware of fake news. Avoid falling for the new phenomenon in media. Fake news is dangerous. Watch us every day of the week as we bring you new and unrivaled educative programs. GRTS, the trustworthy name in Gambian media. Also follow us on our new platforms on Facebook at GRTS Facebook Live, Twitter at GRTS Official, Instagram at GRTS TV Live, and for those in the diaspora and at home, log on to the Wazi TV channel and enjoy a 24-hour broadcast of our programs.
Ladies and gentlemen, this one's for you.
Hello, namaste, assalamu alaikum. Join me every Sunday from the hour of 11 p.m. Enjoy the evergreens, melodious songs of Bollywood, as well as the hottest and the latest information in the world of Bollywood. In this Bollywood show, we celebrate all the famous festivals in the world of Bollywood right here in GRTS, and then as well as dipping into your biography of your favorite star in the world of Bollywood with me, DJ Mas, right here on GRTS. Enjoy the live music, the live session, as well as bring you the exclusive live performance in every show right here in GRTS. mbokk yi àndal ak man bu fi waxtu benn jotee dimanche bu jot fii si biir kër gi GRTS dañ ànd ak yow si Bollywood képp ko xam ne soppi indien nga rek ngay dunda indien àndal ak man fii si biir kër gi bu fukki waxtu benn jotee jàpp fukki waxtu ak ñaar si digg guddi képp ko xam ne ko bëgg indien nga rek nga ànd ak man fii si biir kër gi si GRTS.
C'est votre magazine French Mag qui vous fait le résumé de l'actualité de chez nous et d'ailleurs.
Alors bonsoir, le français dans les écoles avec votre reporter Ramataba tous les samedis à 18h30.
Vous qui aimez le sport ou vivez le sport, moi c'est Diouf, je vous donne le résumé de l'actualité sportive, comme le football, le basket, le volleyball, le handball, l'athlétisme, le cyclisme, le golf et autres. Ou ici à la GRTS.
Et c'est tous les samedis à partir de 19h. Ne le ratez surtout pas.
Winifred Nicole, and a warm welcome to GRTS News at 2000 hours, broadcasting live for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. At the top of the news this evening, National Assembly Committee on Monitoring of Government Projects continues nationwide tour to assess government projects across the country. Ministry of the Environment moves to enforce the ban on the use of plastic bags as Minister Lamin Diba tours parts of Greater Banjul area. Elsewhere around the world, as tension between France and Turkey heightens, UK calls on NATO allies to defend free speech. Plus, Kenyans living in slums adopt small economy initiative to survive during the pandemic. Well, viewers, all that and much more coming ahead with me, Winifred Nicole. A warm welcome to GRTS News. We begin today's bulletin with the National Assembly Select Committee on Monitoring of Government Projects, who is currently on a nationwide tour visiting government projects across the country. GRTS's Mudu Bajan is with the Parliamentary Committee and tells us more on their engagement.
As part of its nationwide tour of projects of the government of the Gambia, the National Assembly Select Committee on Monitoring of Government Projects visited the Senegambia tolling facility. National Roads Authority Divisional Engineer Eastern, Omar Sedikan, and members of the committee touched base on the importance of the facility, which is awaiting operations.
This is the Genoa toll station, and it is completed. Construction is finished. The installation of the software for the toll station is also complete. We have conducted training for our staff, the National Roads Authority, to man the toll station. We now await the instruction from the ministry to start operations at the new toll stations.
At this Farafenye market built for vendors relocated due to the bridge project, Majanko Samusa and several other members of the committee raised concerns ranging from road access to the market and its security.
Because if you look at the market here to the tar road, for security reasons and convenience for the vendors, I think it will be very unfair to bring them here without providing a better road communication system and the electricity. Yeah, and two, the fencing of the market also, the security for their properties.
These worries, which also include fencing the market and equipping it with electricity, were underlined by the committee chairperson, Suleiman Sao.
When we started engaging the ministry, these access roads and the fencing was not part of the project. So, but is our responsibility, since we are on fact finding, what we found on the ground, we can put up our recommendation. Right.
Moving on to Kuntawur, Gambia Groundnut Corporation Senior Depot Manager Pa Omar Bojang told parliamentarians that they have almost finished with the rehabilitation of 10 barges for the transport of groundnuts, but they have storage problems.
We are trying to rehabilitate our 10 new barges that we are presently using. We are supposed to contract the clearing and cleaning of the premises before the season starts. And then the precision maintenance also, the team is supposed to leave today from Denton Bridge. The challenges that we face in here, we have this big store, that is the rice store. So it is the only good store that we are presently using. The old stores that were built during GPMB days, we are not using them at the moment. But in the event of bumper harvest, we have to use it.
Having suffered a flood which affected several households, consultant Bubakar Smega Jame briefed the monitoring team on Kuntawur's housing and water enhancement projects.
The Kuntawur project is in two contracts. One contract is the construction of 23 houses for people affected by the floods, as well as construction of a dike to mitigate against future floods. And then the second contract is the supply of water to the town. All of these contracts These 2 contracts are awarded to Lair Group, and we are at the tail end of both contracts.
While Penda Jai and other beneficiaries await the handing over of these facilities, the government projects monitoring tour team continue into the other regions. For the news, this is Modu Bajan.
The National Environment Agency, led by the Minister of the Environment, Lamin Diba, begins massive enforcement on the ban on plastic bags in the Greater Banjul area. Aminata E. Sanyang has more in this report.
Despite the ban on plastic in the Gambia in 2015, its usage continues even with the environmental laws placed, causing environmental perils. The National Environment Agency recently embarked on a massive enforcement on the ban on plastic bags order and other environment laws.
Even with the enforcement, our priority is to sensitize people. Of course, the law is there, take them to court, fine them. But so far, what we've been trying to emphasize on is to sensitize people. You meet people, bundles of plastic, confiscate, explain why you are confiscating from them, and advise them not to, get into this. Of course, there are questions of alternatives. If I don't have this, what do you do? I mean, so much like those ones that are bagging for sugar, you have paper bags. That's no excuse. Even those using film plastic for water, at least we have allowed the cupped water on the market. And at one point when the ban was first introduced, people were selling this and reselling. So people can still go back to those cups and then leave these film plastics. So that's the thing that we are trying to do. We'll continue with the enforcement, but again with a lot of sensitization.
The NEA enforcement team was also joined by the Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Lamin B. Diba. Minister Diba believed that a collective tax requires a collective effort and responsibility.
No one ministry or one unit can do this alone, especially when it comes to enforcement. Enforcement is solely the responsibility of the security force. We are here to provide the law and we make sure that the law is implemented. But the enforcement of the law is in the hands of the law enforcement. So this is why our collaboration with the police and other security outfits is very important. So immigration, all the outfits, all the security outfits.
The Director, Technical Services Network at the NEA, Malik Ba, noted that his officers are applying utmost efforts to enforce the ban.
Let's make sure that we stop using plastic, because plastic, we all know the impacts of plastics to the environment. It is very, very destructive to the environment. So we need to really stop using it. And we are really looking at how best we can continue these things on a sustainable basis so that we get rid of plastic completely. Other countries are really envying the Gambia for being one of the first countries in the sub-region to ban plastic. So we've registered a remarkable success over the past.
According to NEA officials, although people are complying with the ban, the issues of compliance still remain a challenge. Despite confiscating a significant number of plastics in the country.
At the end of the day, we've been getting somehow challenges because people tend to hoard the products that they are having, which is this single plastic that are already banned in the market. But with all, people are not readily complying with us. But at the end of the day, whenever you ask them, they tend to hoard it and tell us that they are not in possession of these things, while they are already in possession of them. But at the end of the day, we have to trigger in order for us to go further to search in their shops, in order for us to be able to get the product that they are in possession of.
Many continue to buy and sell the product in markets and communities. Environment experts, however, believed that controlling the suppliers will go a long way in ensuring a complete ban of plastics usage in the Gambia. Reporting for Grts News, I am Aminata E. Sanyan.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmadul Lamin Samate, has on Wednesday called on the media to update the public on the recent COVID-19 status in the country. Let's take a listen for more on that.
Good afternoon and welcome as we deliver today's statement on the COVID-19 situation in the Gambia as of 28 October 2020 and the strategies taken by the Ministry of Health and its partners in combating the pandemic. In the Gambia, since the first reported case in March 2020, the country has now reported 3,666 confirmed positive COVID-19 cases. There has been 119 deaths, out of which 75 were in COVID-diagnosed patients, and 44 were posthumous cases. That means there were samples that tested positive from dead bodies. Since March, a total of 20,561 tests have been conducted, over 15,000 of which were conducted since the start of August as part of the ministry's strategy to scale up our testing capabilities. We are pleased to observe that in the past few weeks we saw the number of new cases now being reported dropping to below 5 new cases per day. Furthermore, the positivity rate, which is the percentage of positive test results, has been below 5% for the past few weeks. This is a key benchmark for the Ministry of Health in our control strategies for COVID-19. Schools and public places are reopened after a very long break. However, we want to remind the concerned individuals that COVID-19 guidelines must be followed. We wish to inform all that a monitoring team will be going around to inspect various institutions, including schools, hotels, restaurants, gymnasia, etc. Any of them which is not found to be following the COVID-19 guidelines will be closed down.
Moving on. Testimonies of torture and disappearances continue at the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. Aissatou Kanyi, a widow of Kanyiba Kanyi, and Ibrahima Barrow, one time accused of treason, made their testimonies before the Truth Commission. By Ibrahim Cham observed the proceedings and filed in this report.
In Bonto Kota in 1981, Aissatou Kanyi was the wife of the late Kanyiba Kanyi from 2000 to 2006. Narrating the story of her late husband, Aissatou said that Kanyiba was a staunch supporter of the UDP, making him a thorn in the flesh for APRC. Attending a workshop in Som, Kanyiba coincidentally witnessed an APRC meeting at the chief's residence as he went to get the key to the office from one Ibu Jaju. Jung Conte, the APRC member of parliament, who was at the meeting at the chief's house, accused Kanyiba of spying on them and told the then Interior Minister Baboucarr Jatta that Kanyiba was the one ruining their presence in Som. Interior Minister Jatta threatened to arrest him, and the news spread like wildfire. According to Aissatou, one evening, Kanyiba was picked up at the house by plainclothes officers in a taxi with no number plate, and that was the last time she saw her husband.
At that time, all of us were crying at the house, because we did not know what kind of people were the ones that took away my husband.
Did you have any suspicions as to where they could have been from?
Well, these people, I see to it that I had it in my mind that they came from the NIA headquarters.
Ibrahima Barrow was next to testify via Skype call. On June 22nd, the year 2000, he was arrested by security officers wearing black clothes and black mask. He endured horrific beatings, starvation, and electrocutions at the NIA by one Alhaji Moore, and accused of being part of a plot to overthrow the Jammeh regime with the president's ADC, Lalo Jete, and one Omar Dabo.
But he never wanted me to wear my shirt. So I took that off. It was on my laps here, like that. And there was a gentleman who came in. I could see him through the edge of my eye. He picked a piece of cake and then touched my shoulder with it. That was the end of me. I couldn't understand why I fell down on the ground or on the floor. The time I woke up, I never saw anybody.
After a month at the NIA, he was taken to Carnifing Court and remanded in Mile 2 prison for 6 months, and then back to the NIA for refusing to collaborate with the NIA to frame Lalo Jete the former ADC of President Jammeh. With Mai Fatty as his defense attorney, they filed a trial accusing the NIA of torturing him to frame others. The case was won. Regardless of that, he still spent a total of 4 years, 1 month, 1 week at Mile 2 Central Prisons. Reporting for GRTS News, I'm by Ibrahim Cham.
A 3-day training of the Working Group of Women, Youth, Peace and Security for West Africa and the Sahel Gambia chapter is underway at a local hotel. The training program seeks to create a platform for the participation of women in peace building. Famara Baji tells us more.
The strategic move to enhance women's participation in peace building is being implemented by the Women's Bureau with funding from the UNFPA. This special training program brings together 20 women from various women groups for intensive sessions designed to amplify women's participation in conflict prevention and resolution peace building. At the center of social activities, women play a crucial role in strengthening cohesion among people and communities. Lala Jeta, Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Welfare, hailed the training for its timeliness and urged participants to make the sessions interactive and come up with strong, actionable recommendations.
This 3-day capacity building is quite timely as we celebrate today 20 years of the UNSCR 1325 on the theme Building Local Capacity to Advance the WAP's agenda in West Africa and the Sahel. I am convinced that the caliber of resources, persons, and topics identified will leave this hall fully equipped to continue ensuring that women and youths push the peace agenda forward. I would like to challenge the participants to make the session very interactive, as my colleagues have earlier alluded to, and come up with concrete recommendations.
Themed on building local capacities to advance the WPS agenda in West Africa and the Sahel, hopes are high that the training will greatly benefit participants and boost peace-building strategies for women mediators.
It is important that we working on the issues of peace and security, that is women and youths. Our capacities are being built. We know the issues so that we will be able to discuss the issues. And I know that with the caliber of trainers we're going to have, we'll ensure that the training is very interactive. We'll challenge them, we'll ask questions, we'll get answers, and we'll ensure that from here we are able to move the Women, Youth, Peace and Security agenda forward.
The Working Group on Women, Youth and Security in West Africa and the Sahel is a regional platform to expand and sustain women's participation through active engagement and as Kenya is harmonizing various programs being driven by member agencies. Famara Baji, GRTS News.
The Entrepreneurship, Leadership and Information Technology 2020 Summer Camp is underway in Pakalinding in the Lower River region. The camp is an annual program organized by the Global Youth Innovation Network, and it seeks to train young entrepreneurs in different areas. From Jara Soma, Alhajimbai tells us more.
It is an annual summer camp organized by the Global Youth Innovation Network Gambia chapter to train emerging entrepreneurs on entrepreneurship, leadership, and information technology. This year's camp is downsized to 50 participants in 2 groups of 25 due to the coronavirus pandemic. Speaking in Pakalinding, the chairman of Mansakonko Area Council, Landing B. Sane, challenged all stakeholders to add value to the numerous trainings and skills development programs for young people.
GIN has done greatly well in enhancing the skill set and competence of our young people in entrepreneurship. So it's a challenge on all of us now to see how we add value to what GIN has done. And this, I want to challenge all of us as beneficiaries of this program, but also challenge other associations and organizations, particularly the donor partners and government, to see how we add value to all what is being done by different actors in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, and in this case, GIN.
The executive director of GIN Gambia, Mamadou Idris Njai, described ELITE as a program aimed at inspiring young people.
This is a camp that is geared towards inspiring young entrepreneurs. So it is based on that reason we also have some youth speakers, different from the trainers and the presenters, who will also inspire you after attending ELITEs, how they are able to manage and run successful enterprises. Basically, ELITE is a platform to inspire each other and also to learn. And the most important thing is also after the ELITE, what are you going to do, or what will you be doing? How to manage your businesses and how to run a profitable and a successful enterprise.
The representative of ITC-YEP, Alassane Dramé, assured of his office's continued support to youth empowerment initiatives for enhanced national development.
ITC Gambia is committed to support youth in entrepreneurship training, developing and supporting small and medium-sized enterprise through skill sector, digital marketing, poultry production. All these are geared towards enhancing economic opportunity for Gambian youths. So, meaning all these things are here for you people. Attach significance in combating irregular and potential migrants, which continue to pose to human life, dignity, and our economy.
Various speakers, including the regional youth chairperson for Lower River Region, Usman Sane, and Nyanyambai of the Department of Youth and Sports, both thanked the organizers for the initiative. It is hoped that the ELITE program will create network and skills for young entrepreneurs, thus improving their businesses. Alajimbai, GRTS News.
Talinding South Ward Councillor and partners have donated materials worth $300,000 to schools, disability community, Talinding Ahmadiyya Hospital and KMC. Majan Barrow witnessed the presentation ceremony and files in this report.
Talinding Ward Councillor Karamo Sise partnered with the Ibo Mala Foundation and UK-based Police Charitable Foundation in its latest donation of materials to the Talinding South community and other beneficiaries, including schools and members of the Organization of the Disabled. The donor says it is their way of giving back to the public, especially vulnerable communities and groups needing urgent help. This new consignment includes medical items, tables, chairs, and assistive technologies for use by the physically challenged, as well as shoes worth $300,000.
These items are not for sale, they are for gift. The World Development Committee, with the support of KMC, our land ministry, that is the Ministry of Lands, and then the Ministry of Finance, even though the World Development Committee paid some monies to clear the container through the support of Canopy Municipal Council and so on. But whatever we spend on these items, we don't gain any financial earning from it. Whatever we do, at the end of the day, we give this material for free of charge.
Ward Councillor Karamo Sise joined forces with KMC to clear the 4 containers. The Director of Administration at the Canopy Municipal Council, Jaja Jam, outlined challenges encountered in accessing support for local communities and advised beneficiaries to make best use of the materials. Dr. Hafiz Mohamed Asif of Talinding Ahmadiyya Muslim Hospital thanked the council and partners, adding that Councillor Karamo is doing a great job.
We are very thankful on behalf of Ahmadiyya Muslim Hospital. I'm very thankful to all of you. You are giving us some medical equipments for our hospital, and I will assure all of you that inshallah we will best use of these type of equipments in our hospital, and most of them we are giving them free, like wheelchairs, like other things will give free of cost to the patients.
Representing the Disabled Society, Mamadou A.F. Bahum said disability doesn't mean inability, noting that it is important to ensure the support reaches the right people.
You choose people who really deserve the seat so that they can better represent you, to wipe your tears. And this is what Karamo have done. Wiping the tears of persons with disabilities is crucial. The little support that you will give that person who will be using the wheelchair or the person that will be using a crutch, or the person who is amputated and is supported by that material given to him free of charge, had paved his life and the entire lives of his or her family.
The medical items were presented to the Talinding Ahmadiyya Muslim Hospital, while schools, desks and chairs went to the Talinding Islamic Institute, Talinding Junior and Senior Secondary School, and Charles Jau Memorial Academic School. KMC also received 14 cartons of shoes and a disability community at large consignment of assertive items for use by the physically challenged. Majan Baro for GRTS News.
The Association of Gambians in Norway has presented 75 laptops to 4 different institutions in the country. The move is part of efforts to boost the capacity of the institutions. Baba Silla has more on that.
Today we're here to witness the presentation of 75 laptops to various institutions like yours. We have 20 laptops going to the prison's juvenile wing, and we have 20 going to St. Augustine's High School, and we have 20 going to the National Library through the Honorable Member for Banjul.
Well, we hope to bring you more on that report in our 10 p.m. newscast. Well, we will take a short break. News from outside the Gambia is up next. Do stay with us.
Hello, AfriCell people. AfriCell has done it again.
What is it this time?
Simply use your AfriMoney account to buy credit, data, and cash power to get the chance to win up to $500,000.
That is fantastic.
If you don't have an AfriMoney account, now is the perfect time to get it. Call 777 to activate your AfriMoney account and increase your chances to win up to $500,000.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow. Tired of seeing the message you have insufficient funds in your account? Worry no more. With AfriCell, the cholera credit just got way better.
Now you can continue your conversations with your loved ones. With the new cholera credit, you can now borrow up to $250 credit. Send a blank SMS to 152 to get your cholera credit and activate the service of your choice. For more info, please call 111.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Welcome back, and over now to news from outside the Gambia. President Emmanuel Macron's comments have put him at the eye of the storm as opposition grows within the Muslim world, while his European allies are standing beside him. Details in the CGTN report.
Tensions escalated after Macron condemned Islamists over the beheading of a French teacher last week and said Islam should better align with French values. His comments quickly drew criticism from the Muslim world, with Turkey at the forefront.
What can one say about a head of state who treats millions of members from different faith groups in his country this way? First of all, have mental checks.
Iran also slammed Macron's comments. The country's foreign ministry summoned the French chargé d'affaires and said any insults and disrespect shown to the Prophet of Islam are strongly condemned and rejected by, in its own words, every person and in every position. Saudi Arabia condemned cartoons offending the Prophet Muhammad and renewed its refusal of any attempt to link Islam and terrorism. Meanwhile, large anti-France protests have erupted in several Muslim-majority countries, including Pakistan and Bangladesh, Palestine and Yemen. However, in Europe, countries are condemning Erdogan and voiced solidarity with Macron. Romanian Prime Minister Ludovic Orban expressed support for Macron while he was visiting Paris on Tuesday, and Germany also weighed in.
We stand in solidarity at France's side as far as the personal attacks by President Erdogan against President Macron go, which I find are a new low point. They are totally unacceptable. But above all, we stand in solidarity at France's side in the fight against Islamist extremists, especially after the hideous terrorist crime last week.
Condemning Erdogan's comments, the European Commission warned it could derail Turkey's attempts to renew talks with the European Union.
We have repeated the expectations of the European Union regarding Turkey, what we expect Turkey to do so that we are able to continue on a positive line with our relationship. However, if we keep on getting tension with provocations against the European Union or a member of the European Union, then we are going to think about what we can do about such actions or any statements.
Recent clashes over religious issues isn't the only snag in relations between Turkey and France. The two have been butting heads on several issues in recent months. They include Ankar's gas exploration in disputed waters in the eastern Mediterranean, the conflicts in Libya and Syria, and also the border dispute between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Zhang Dan, CG.
Let's move over to Kenya now, where millions of people have been impacted by the COVID-19. The situation is even worse in low-income settlements, where residents live on less than $1 a day. But as CGTN Robert Najila reports, a system referred to as the small economy allows them to put food on the table.
It's mid-morning in Kibra, Kenya's largest informal settlement. Many of its residents are casual laborers who've lost their jobs as a result of the economic downturn brought about by COVID-19. About 250,000 people call this home. Most of them live on less than $1 a day. But despite the harsh conditions, the people here have come up with their own unique economy that gets them by. Deep in the heart of the settlement, Lydia Sunday has come to her local shop for her weekly shopping. But this is not your average shopping trip. Known as the Kadogo economy or small economy, the principle behind it sees retailers selling goods in small quantities for as little as 5 cents.
Things like sugar and oil. The quantity depends on how much you have.
A 2011 World Bank study, however, shows low-income earners end up paying more than middle or even upper-income earners. Once her shopping's complete, she makes her way home through the narrow, muddy alleys in the settlement.
Today I bought flour for ugali and for baking some bread.
That's the news, but before we take leave of you, a quick look at our headlines once again. National Assembly Committee on Monitoring of Government Projects continues nationwide tour to assess government projects across the country. Ministry of the Environment has moved to enforce the ban on the use of plastic bags as Minister Lamin Diba tours parts of Greater Banjul area. Elsewhere around the world, as tension between France and Turkey heightens, UK is calling on NATO allies to defend free speech. Plus, Kenyans living in slums have adopted small economy initiative to survive during the pandemic. Well, viewers, that was all in this edition of the News at 8. Join us at 2200 hours for more news. Until then, do stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.
Gambia de mun na nek réew mi gëna tuuti ci Afrika waaye terewul dina dalal ñaareeli xew-xew bi gëna mag dajale kilifa yi ci àdduna ci 2022 ci loolu nguuri Gambia dafa sos kuréel guñ naan OIC Gambia ñu sas leen lépp lu aju ci dajale xaalis ak it jumtukaay yi ñoo war a jëfandikoo ngir soppi kanami dëkk bi ci anam buñ mësuta gis lépp ngir Gambia am ndam ci daje bu màgg bii nga xam ne réewi islaam yi ci àdduna yépp daañu ko fi amal lu war a mat 20 tali yu ees daañu ko tabax ci réew mi Batil Hadin Highway itam daañu ko yaatal bu baax diggante airport ba Stinkoona axa kay askani Gambia aajo woon nañ ndox mu sell ak courant gu doy ba tax na daañu amal ay pexe yuy indi ndox ak it séddale ko ci anam boo xam ne ñépp daañu ci kontaan noonu OIC Gambia daañu ful yokka 2 yoon anam bii nawek di joxe ndox ci réew mi ci jamono ji ba léegi OIC Gambia daañu dooleel police utal leen ay jumtukaay yu xereñ boole kook di leen tàggat ngir Gambia yépp am kaaraange tabax nañu International Conference Center bi gën a mag ci Afrique sowu jant ak 5-star hotel bu méngook jamono ak it yombal dem beek dikka bi ci anam bu mucc ayib yëkkati darajay Banjul International Airport ba mu mun a dalal gan ñu màgg ñii ñoo xaar OIC Gambia daal mbokkay pare naa jël Gambia def ko muy place bu gën a mat conference ci Afrique sowu jant ñu war di ko fi amalee daañu ànd ak suñuy naataango yi yëngatu ci tourisme ngir dëgëral tolluwaayi réew mi di Smiling Coast Gambia ci teral ay ganam ak fu ñu munti jógee ci àdduna OIC Gambia dina amal ay lënkaloo yuy fesal tey yokkal xereñ ak koom-koom ci réew mi ci gàttal OIC Gambia project daañu amal ay liggéey daañu suuxat koom-koom bi daañu gaawal suñu yokkute daañu taaral réew mi ak nekkini askani